Good morning, traders. Welcome to day two of the Power Income Futures Open House. And if you thought yesterday was wild, guess what? Buckle up because we're about to crank it up to the next level today. My name is Anka Metcalf, for those of you that do not know me. And for the last 15 years, I have done nothing but help traders get what they want where they dream and what they dream to be financially free. For the last 10 years, I have hosted the Futures Trading Room live 5 days a week. And I met so many men and women traders who felt stuck in trading. They were failing at trading. They thought that trading is just a dream. And I have helped them overcome their challenges and educated them, trained thousands of traders to become consistent and achieve their financial independence and freedom by trading less and making more money, trading the power hour. And now it's your turn. So I'm opening the doors today once again to our method, the stress-free method. So yesterday we proved from the power hour, because let's face it, this is where the magic is, and this is where the magic happens. We showed you guys lightning fast setups, precision entries, and profits before people even finished their coffees. Today, we're doubling down, and you're going to see how we spot trades again. And again, this is ahead of tomorrow's data that we're going to be talking about in a second. How to enter trades with confidence and manage the trades while being cool like a cucumber. So, how to turn risk into opportunity. We're going to see it again in action. So, I'm bringing again my A game. And guess what? We're going to take questions at the end. This is where the confidence is being built. So, feel free to ask questions. You learn from questions. This is where fear gets kicked out of the driver's seat. So get ready because the market is about to open and we're about to own the open. So guess what? Let's make it another crazy day, guys. It's going to be a crazy pants day as we're heading into tomorrow's data. So let's go. So welcome, everybody. I can see that you guys can hear me well. Awesome. Perfect. All right, some rules. First hour, no questions. Why? Because obviously I'm focused on making money and you should be too. We will dedicate time for Q&A at the end of the trading session. And once we are out of our active trades, just like we did yesterday, it's very hard to talk about chat and trade at the same time. Because when you trade, you have to be in the zone. You have to own the trade. Account size and participation. Again, traders with smaller account sizes can participate in any trade setup by adjusting the position size accordingly. I do get questions all the time. What is the small account size? Anything that is below 50,000. If this is your first time in the room, just observe the flow, trade selection, and execution process before actively participating. Don't forget about position size because this is key. This comes before any type of trade, any strategy. If you don't know how to position size and manage your trade and perform a proper risk management, guess what? You're not going to get far in trading, and it's going to be so hard to dig yourself out of a hole. Because let's face it, when we're beginning right at the beginning of our trading careers, what we do, what do we do best, team? We dig ourselves in a hole if we don't know how to position size. So for futures day traders, we recommend about 1% of the account size. And I allocate between 5 and 6 trades a day. All right, trade management. This is so important. Depends on price action because everybody's saying like, oh, when do we take profits? Oh, when do we do this? It's a huh. Just watch price action because the chart is going to tell you exactly what you need to do. The chart is going to tell us what we need to do. So all trades, entry stops, and targets will be announced live in the trading room, and also they will be typed in. Trade format, first, I'm going to call the symbol, the direction, whether long or short. You're going to see the entry price, last three digits, stop price, last three digits, and the targets, last three digits. Note for micro contract traders, if you should position size and say, hey, I can't fit a full size contract or full size contracts into my trade, but I can take the trade using micros, please give plenty of room to your micros. They're at 10 times more volatile than the full size contract. And not only that, but they're going to whip around if you don't give them breathing space. So when you see my trade posted out, let's say we're going to take NASDAQ at 0.35, you're going to add between 2 and 5 points, depending on the volatility. If I mention the word volatility in the room, that's when you have to give 5 points. All trade parameters are based on full size contracts. And by the way, you saw yesterday what NASDAQ did, right? The whipsaw that it had when the news came out, boom. Okay, so you're going to get wiped out if you don't apply the proper size. All right, this is our stat. This is my stat. I don't know about you guys, but I made money close to 2 hours. My win ratio was 66.66, and my return was 3,900. Because remember that we had a loss, then we had 2 winning trades, right? See how easy it is when you apply position sizing. So I'm getting messages that the sound is bad. No idea why that is. Let me check something out. Quick sound check. Let me know if you guys sound check, sound check. Okay, just give me a quick sound check. 1 1 1. Okay, cool. Is it better than last time? Okay. So I could see that for some traders, the sound is good. For other traders, the sound is not so good. Hey, if you're on a wireless device, log out, log back in. It's on your side. Okay. All right. So what to expect from the trading room? First off, we're going to start with the pre-market game plan. We're going to do it for all the indices, commodities that we have on deck. We're going to do the market context review. We're going to go through news and events assessments. We're going to go through the earnings calendar to review any kind of scheduled earnings and see their impact into our indices. And hey, Mick, I love adverb. Oh my God. Okay. Scan opportunity. We're going to try to identify potential trade setups and high probability opportunities, setup confirmations, trade identification, trade parameters, obviously, like I have mentioned before, and then live execution and management, execute trades with precision, and of course, actively managing, assessing the market conditions, everything. And at the end, we're going to do a quick recap of the trades. Just another reminder that uh, this week, option expiration week. So what to expect? Increased volatility, unusual volume spikes, magnitude strike prices. Do not trust price action blindly. Stops created by shakeouts, unpredictability of price direction, and of course, a move up, down, or sideways that is with massive volume, unusual volume, okay, with unusual volume. Also, price may not be true to technical, so this is the reason why we will need to be very cautious, and depending on the setup that we're getting, we're going to assess whether we're going to take it with full size or half size. Economic events for today, you can see that we don't have a lot going on. We have oil inventories that are coming in at 10:30. Definitely that's going to impact oil, not the market in general. And we have two FOMC members that will be delivering the speech, but we will be long gone by that time. All right, so like I promised you yesterday, it's very important to know the impact of the PPI data. So tomorrow we are getting the PPI data at 8:30. We had CPI data yesterday, and that actually created the burst of momentum into the market and enabled us to profit from the market move. But the PPI data, this is the producer price index, and usually doesn't have, the same nuclear event reputation as the CPI, but it could still move the stock market and the futures market, especially when it's released very close to the CPI numbers or in a very high inflation environment. And here's what typically happens in the hours in a day leading to PPI. So what does that mean? Today, right? So we have PPI tomorrow. So today, what to expect? First of all, less dramatic than the CPI, like I said, but it can still move the markets. The day before, so today, we're going to experience lighter volume. Okay, so what that means is that the participation in the market may not push the price into targets. So that's the reason why lighter volume is not really that great. Lighter volume is awesome when you're trading around holidays like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgivings, what have you, but not here because lighter volume then pushes the market. Here, it doesn't. You're going to get tighter ranges. You got it, Matt. You're getting the market that is going to coil like a spring. And from that spring, that's very interesting that you brought it up. From that spring, you can snap up or down regardless of the directional bias. So it could just go in either direction. All right. So one thing that we talked about yesterday is the moving averages that I use and basically the indicators that I use. And you can see here that often it coils around the moving averages. So that's the 10 EMA or the 20 SMA. Ha ha. That's why we use them. Okay. So I'm not going to get really into that why and, the reason, blah, blah, blah. But just take this little note here. It's going to be very helpful as you trade years from now. The morning of the release, that is at 8:30 tomorrow, overnight futures are going to stay sideways ahead of the CPI, ahead of the PPI data, unless CPI was a surprise. And for us, it wasn't really a surprise because you basically saw that the market was pushing for all-time highs, right? Market makers often pin price near pivots or pivot points. We discussed pivot points in yesterday's sessions. That's one of the reasons why they're extremely important. And of course, CPI results heavily influence expectations. If you have a hot CPI, well, that's going to have a bearish connotation. If you have a cool CPI, bullish. So key takeaways: expect compression, base, coil before the CPI data and potential volatility. And I think that this coil is not going to come in the first 30 minutes, but it's going to come into the second half of the day. And it's best to trade opportunities the best trading opportunities are definitely after the release. Okay, so after the PPI data. All right, so earnings for today, just wanted to show you real quick. The only bigger earnings that we have is from Cisco, and that is going to happen after the market closes. So we're going to dive right into our analysis right now. First off, we're not going to talk a lot about the commodities because oil is once again very much sideways, is dripping lower, but it's still trading on substantial support. It has a wavy support onto the monthly. It's not great for day trading or for swing trading, not unless you have an appetite for risk and stopping out. GC here, just a little bit higher today, $7 up, and it's setting up as a buy setup. And it's very interesting that it is setting up the way it is because it's in the core of the range. And I like the fact that it's trading on the 20 SMA. So the fact that it triggered last night, it's a positive, but we still need it above this 200 SMA. And I would say it needs 34.30 before it starts moving higher. and it could produce a squeeze back into these highs right here that we had last week. All right, and let's start with our indices. As you can see, we are moving higher in the Dow as well. We have entered velocity, so that means that the price is poised to continue into the 45,000. We're going to have some other macro level targets in our trades, but the longer macro move is going to be into the 45,000 and 45,300, which is the all-time high here. We already have the rotation yesterday when we were performing the analysis. The price action was trading between the high and the low, which was an inside candle. Again, boom, what does it show us? Compression. All right, so right now releasing back to the upside. So again, 45,000 and 45,300 towards the all-time high. Directional bias higher. Shorting is not going to be an option. The mini S&P, let's start with this. Shorting is not going to be an option. We're going to look for long strategies. We already have all-time highs that have happened about an hour and a half ago. And we are trading into the 64.88. Let me remind you that our swing trade is doing really well, ladies and gentlemen. And we are wowzers. We're looking for the 6,400 I'm sorry, 6,500 for the target probably today. And we do have some other extensions. So the S&P, NASDAQ are entering extension zone. However, we still have resistance zones in the Dow and in Russell, but the S&P looks really great. We're going to be looking for 6,500 as the first target. 6,530 is the next extension. And that's going to give us 200 points at that level. And the trade was initiated last week. We have NASDAQ, which was our favorite in yesterday's trading session. The NASDAQ and S&P are very similar in structure. Shorting obviously is not going to be an option here because we are superpower trending. We have left the 24,000 behind. We're heading into an extension of 24. I think it's, hold on a second, because my chart just flipped here. Okay, the next extension that we have is into the 70. So that is the next resistance. And then we have clear void to 24,200. So we have a lot of room to progress higher since those two are the next resistance zones, projection zones on the chart, measured moves for NASDAQ. So yes, we're going to look for long strategies. And then we have RTY. RTY right here, which is very, very bullish, finally escaping this massive resistance zone that we had at 2,300. And I think it's getting ready to complete a move all the way to 2330. Once it breaks the 2330, we could actually start moving higher towards 2,500. So that looks really good for a continuation higher as well. Now we're going to get ready for the open. We still have about 4 minutes left. We're going to take a quick look at the price action. So the Dow is up 164 points right now, 0.37%. The price is above the 10 EMA. The S&P is 20 points up, the price above the 10 EMA. Superpower trend is freaking intact, 20 points up, and for the day, 0.32 in balance with the Dow. NASDAQ is a little bit stronger than the S&P and the Dow, and as you can see, it's punching higher into new all-time highs. And it's up 104 points, 0.43%. And then we have the leader of the pack, which is Russell, 0.79%, 17 points to the upside. All the indices, I was going to say all the majors. All the indices are powering higher ahead of the open. Now, I don't take trades ahead of the open because when the market opens, you're going to get a massive volatility spike, and I don't want to take part of that because I'm using hard stops. So we're just going to wait for the open. All right, so make sure that you have like all the charts on the same time frame and we're ready to go. I select the 5-minute time frame, especially as I'm running the trading room because I don't have time to explain, type in, and do all the nitty-gritty aspects of trading if we're doing the 1 minute. And plus, The smaller the time frame that you're trading, the let's say the more often you're going to stop out. You have to choose some type of a time frame that allows you more thinking, and allows you to assess the trade properly. And that would be like a common denominator 5 minute. But we do have strategies that we teach in our course that where you can tackle the market even on the 1 minute or the 2 minutes. So we do have strategies for that. This day may be one of those. We may use one of those strategies. We are 1 minute and 15 seconds away from the open. Matt, how many contracts? We talked about this yesterday about sizing. And thanks, Doji Man. Assess your risk level. So overnight trading has nothing to do with trading. It is a trade. All trades are treated equally. You're going to apply the same risk level, the same R. Nothing different. No. In certain cases, but no. It's not, this is not an overnight trade. This is, so the S&P is a swing trade. There is such a humongous difference between overnight trades and swing trades. And an overnight trade is a trade that basically you screwed up in most cases. It's a screwed up day trade that didn't achieve target, didn't stop you out, and you're basically forced to continue it overnight, or you're evaluating it to take it overnight. It's a totally different ballgame. All right. Our S&P trade is a swing trade. So that swing trades are in duration between 2 days to 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whenever you or um, when you achieve target or you stop out. And we have huge targets in our S&P trade. We have 65.50, 65.60, and 65.80. So we have not yet achieved targets. The target. So our first target is over 220 points or something like that. All right, here is the volatility. Here comes the volatility. So we have to be very careful. The reason why I put together this information for you about the PPI data is because of this. So you're aware, so you're an educated trader to see what the heck is going on in the market and not just go blindly say, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's going higher. You get in, you put a tight stop here. Let's say you take a little breakout in the Dowski. You put a tight stop here at 700 and then you get whipped out. So this move, as dramatic as it was in YM, 57 points so far. 5 point candle in ES. The market just opened, so we still have about 3 minutes to go. 3.5 minutes to go. All right, the volatility is increasing. Not so much in NASDAQ. NASDAQ is a little bit more compressed. We're going to get ready. So far, the support is 24,020. So if we are going to have a trade, I think it's going to be NASDAQ because we have almost an 100 point candle in YM. Well, volatility's getting a little bit wild in S&P and in Nasdaq too, but Nasdaq is a little bit more compressed. So if we are going to have a trade in Nasdaq in about 2 minutes, not now, perhaps in about 2 minutes, we can determine that we're going to be using 24,020 for the stop. We don't have the entry yet. The way the move happened in Nasdaq, it just tackled the first area of resistance into the 70. We didn't punch a 70, but we punched a 63. You could see right now, 63 and a half. But the next move could potentially have velocity all the way to 200. So the target, we could talk about targets. So far we have the stop and we're going to look at targets 100, 120, 150, 180, 200. These are going to be the targets. Be careful and position size. I mean, it's up to you whether you want a position size or not. But it's my obligation to remind you that if you don't position size, you're not going to achieve consistent results and you're not going to get any result because you're going to be all over the board. All right, we have potentially 30 seconds into a trigger. Looks like our entry is going to be 73 to 75. Try to position size for that. An entry at 75 and stop at 20. We could actually do the entry at 70. And the trade is bam. 0.70 official by stop into 0.20. Look at that doji and Russell. Dow could be a trade as well. Dow stop could be potentially around 100 points. So position size for that. If you want to take the Dow, I'm just going to give you ideas. I'm going to do NASDAQ, so I'm not going to get into the Dow, but Dow looks good as well. And Dow looks good with an entry of 790 and a stop of 680. So it has not triggered yet. Like I said, I'm only doing NASDAQ. NASDAQ long 070, stop 24,020. First target is 100. And then we're going for 20, 50, 80, and then 200. The S&P has a similar setup, and so does Russell. Russell looks bullish over 2306.5 with a stop at 2300. And the S&P looks bullish over 6494 and a half with a stop 6484. So these are some other ideas. I'm not going to type in since I'm not going to get into them, but if you want to select one trade or the other, those are the parameters. And the S&P has room to go to 6,500 and 6,530. These are the new parameters. New projections. Wow, Dow is going again. Market is fairly bullish. Tesla, Apple, Palantir into a bull sandwich. Broadcom, brand new all-time high. Nvidia, ready to break out. Microsoft already had a little mini gap to the upside and now just pulled back ever so slightly, totally insignificant. It could do that at the open. Dow stocks again, UNH continuation higher. Goldman Sachs, remember I told you yesterday that it's going to break out and it broke out. It didn't really have a lot of continuation for the rest of the financials. The others didn't set up as perfect, but you have AXP, Bank of America, JP Morgan already just moved a little bit higher. Home Depot back into the 400s. That's a really great long-term trade. It has good dividends. Tesla's about to do a sandwich breakout. All right, our trade has not triggered yet. Pepsi's higher as well. Just doing a little bit of scanning here to see. Wow, Dow, what a surprise with the Dow. Just curious, anybody in the Dow? Oh, Josh, okay. I didn't take it. I'm like, you know what? I really like NASDAQ. Again. Oh, thanks, Phyllis. George. Uh, you weren't here for the pre-market game plan? Okie dokie. So NASDAQ, entry 070, the stop 020, target 100, 120, 150, 180, and 200. Yes, we put limit orders. I'm telling you, I'm stalking the Delsky right now. Oh, and we may have a tighter stop in NASDAQ for now. Hey, Joe, do you see Joe O? Okay, do you see the trade right now? I posted it earlier. NASDAQ loans 070, 020, 100, 200. Okay, so you see it now. We want to take it over these highs because this is resistance. We want to make sure that we have confirmation that the trade is breaking above the resistance. And then our stop is going to be the near trading session low for now. The trade is above the 10 EMA, so it's still in power trend. The Dow should pull back at least to this 60 level, but I want a quiet pullback. I just don't want like this big bar to the upside. You just want it to pull back. All right, so Nasdaq is just taking its sweet time. The S&P is getting ready for that 6,500. We may have a sandwich here in NASI. YM needs to pull back, but it needs to pull back like in 3 bars at least. If it takes out the 795, then it could pull back to this zone from 780 to 750 area. And if it does, that's the area where we would stock to see if we are going to get an entry. All right, Max 7 all green, Tesla leading, Amazon second place, Apple third place. Then we have Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Meta. All right, no trigger in NASDAQ. That's fine. That's fine. So we're not yet in any trades. We don't have a trigger yet. Why I'm not pulling back, not sustaining the pullback. See, this 2 minute is very perky here. The more it stays here, the 10 EMA is going to catch up with price, and that's going to make it pop even more. Remember, it does have a tradable void to 45,000. New high for the Dow. The S&P stuck at the pivot. No entry for the Dow. Just sit and wait. And we are not in a trade in we're not in NASDAQ yet. NASDAQ, you know what? Just cancel NASDAQ for now. Cancel NASDAQ for now. Wow, we have quite a bit of divergency here. NASDAQ pulling back. We may reassess this for another entry. So far, it's kind of holding the New York trading session low area. And the Dow is just on freaking fire. Okay, if you guys are in NASDAQ on the suggested entry that I provided earlier, let me know if you need help with trailing. I'm not in. All right, if you guys are in, your trail stop right now, well, your trail stop should be 800, and the new trail should be set in about 2 minutes. No, I'm not. It never triggered, Paul. No trigger, no trade. No setup, no trade. GP, if you paid attention at the beginning, I said I'm not taking any questions in the first hour because I want to make money in the first hour. I'm not here for education, but I will answer all the questions after. So please repost the questions after we're done. They're showed in the trading room, David. I mentioned this in the intro that I made, that I've done. If you guys are not here, if you were not here at 9 o'clock, then yeah, you can't know what I talked about. But I'm not going to answer all these questions that are redundant right now because we already talked about them. All right, aggravating. Dow is aggravating. The next target in the Dow is actually 950 to 45,000. That is the next target. Okay, and the time is up. You guys have 30 seconds and you could actually move the stop 880. If anybody took my call in the Dow, I make calls in the Dow, the S&P, Russell. I did not, and I highlighted, I did not take any of these trades because I was wanting to trade Nasdaq. But if you are in YM, 880 is your trail stop. 880 is your trail stop. Keep in mind that you should take some profits out around 950 because you're approaching a massive extension level at 45,000. And if you want to trail the whole entire position, you can do that. You could trail the whole entire position. I actually like doing that when we get some, these types of moves. Okay, Nasdaq is waking up. Ugh, so annoying. All right. So, okay, YM Trail 900. Hey Jim. Russell, if you're in Russell, your trail stop. See, I'm looking at the time because at 10 o'clock you should get some kind of a reversal in the market, and that could create a pullback. All right, Russell Trail. We need to get it at 9:52 and it's 9:51 and 47 seconds, but you could trail 2311. 2311. And in ES, you can trail 98 and a half, 98. 98. You're at 6,500. Obviously, if you're in the S&P whole number, take some profits out here, and then the rest you can trail 98. Oh, all or not. Yeah, I love all or nothing, Matt. Love it. Yes, of course. I don't know about NASDAQ. It's so freaking flaky. I'm so glad that you guys just jumped the gun on all these three other indices. Like I said, I'm pretty relaxed and chill at this point because I do have a swing trade going on in S&P from last week. So I'm up a couple of 100 points already. So I'm happy with that. I don't know about NASDAQ here. I'm a little concerned about it. Microsoft has not recovered, and neither did Apple. Amazon is very strong, Tesla strong, Google strong, Meta with the new high strong, Nvidia strong, like I said, Broadcom strong, Cisco not great, but Cisco is gonna report after the close. AMD strong, Micron, not so much. Here's what I don't like in NASDAQ. Yes, Ben, I called it as a trade. I did not take it, but I called it as a trade. I didn't type it in the room, but I was on the mic. You guys can review the recording when it's going to be out. I called all these trades. I called YM, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell, and I said I'm gonna I'm gonna get NASDAQ. Yeah. All right. So, like I said, the one reason why I don't love NASA right now is because it had this trigger, and shortly after it had some sell into it. So it wasn't really like a powerful type of igniting momentum. The other reason why I would not necessarily get in a trade right now is because 10 o'clock. So it's kind of like that time right now because it's 9:54. You can expect a pullback. Okay. It's 10 o'clock reversal time. All right. If you guys need any other trails right now, still 89. I'm sorry, still 98 for the S&P. And if you are trailing YM, and if you're still in YM, your trail should be 910. Wow, 910. Wow, that's awesome. Good job, guys. All right, this is what I don't like about YMC. It has been sitting here for far too long. This is a really great resistance for it. That's 70. And this is the reason why our trigger point was, right into that 70 because we wanted to see proof that it could take this high out. And the proof is not coming. Okay? Proof is not coming. Oh yeah, man, I agree. Painful. All right, and here's the pullback. This is why you need to have trail stops. The trail stop, like 910 in YM, 910, still 910. You're still in. Something was off with Nasdaq, Steve. Something was off. And for the second day in a row, we had like massive move in YM. And I was stalking YM, but I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna have this really wide stop. And, you can't get as many contracts as you wish. It was very volatile at first. Very, very volatile. So everybody should be trailed out of S&P and Russell if you were in. The only people that should still be in the trade is is the YM. So if you were in YM, Nvidia is relatively flat. It had an all-time high yesterday, but today it's just hanging out there, trading into the same space it was trading yesterday, but no new highs today. Broadcom has an all-time high today, but pulled back a little bit. Meta with a new high. Amazon is strong. So there are still elements. I need to look a little bit deeper into what's leading and what's lagging. into NASDAQ. First of all, I want to see what the heck is lagging. Okay, so we have Costco lagging, but they're not like really lagging, just 1.4% down. So these are the laggards, Micron, Costco, but they're still in bullish pattern. So don't get me wrong, Micron is fairly strong in the structure. We have Intel down, Intuit, Autodesk, not much. And I mean, Nvidia is only 0.2%, so it's still very bullish. Nvidia is still very, very bullish. And in terms of strength, see, this is annoying when it happens, right? You have Warner Brothers leading with 6%, leading NASDAQ. You have AMD with closing in on 5%. You have Moderna with 3%. You have BIIB with 3% up. Tesla up. eBay, go baby. eBay is my latest baby in the stock swing trader program, and it is doing fantastic. What a beautiful move. I used to day trade this stock all the time, closing in on 6% gain from entry, 6% move from entry. Beautiful. Airbnb is up. Lululemon, it's up. It's helping NASDAQ, but it's dead. All right, so NASDAQ is just, I don't think it's gonna be it. All right, for those of you guys that are still in the Dow, 910 is still your trail stop. Stay in until you're trailed out. Remember, you exit only when you achieve targets or you trail out or stop out. Good job, guys. Okay, I don't know how to say it, guys, but you are still in YM. Okay, it's trading at 911. All right, what a ride. What a ride. And you're still in because it went to 911. See the strength? Now, I'm going to pay attention to this Dow right now. Okay, so Dow's resistance is right here into the 980. Okay, 980. We have resistance here into the 980. Uh, Basically, the resistance is from 950 to 45,000. Okay, once it starts breaking above the 80, I would say 85 maybe to 90, 85, 85, 85 would be okay. That would give us the confirmation that the price may be getting ready to digest the 45,000 resistance that also comes from a pivot high that was generated on July 10th. And if we start breaking and digesting that zone, the next target in the Dow will be 150. Okay, 150. I hate to take trades into 10 o'clock because this is reversal time. But I'm telling you guys, the 2 minute here in the Dow is just spectacular. I'm not going to take it because I would be breaking my rule. Okay, I would definitely be breaking my rules, but I'm telling you guys, this is a base breakout. Again, I would like to see it over 80. So the trigger point I would love to see it over 80. This is strong resistance right here. So I don't know whether that's going to be taken out or not. However, it has a very bullish pattern. Freaking bullish pattern, and it could explode. But because we are trading into the 10 a.m. right now, this is 10 o'clock reversal time. So this is profit taking time for individuals that were in these power moves. Bonnie, discuss RTY. RTY, very bullish. It is, and like I said in the pre-market game plan, from the daily perspective, it just digested this resistance at 2,300. And it does have, let me just put the weekly for you. It does have room to go into the 30 to 35, 30 to 35. It does have a little bit of resistance from this pivot right here into the 20. So 20 and 30, those are going to be the next two targets. Other than that, it's a little bit more compressed. I wouldn't say that, it's a bad pattern. It does have resistance here, so it has, again, when you're seeing that you have multiple levels of resistance at different areas, that's gonna slow down the trajectory of price, the velocity of the move. So because we have resistance here, we already had a high. So resistance here is at 16. We already had a high 15 and a 15.3. This could potentially be a breakout just like the Dow. Okay. Again, we have a higher pivot, so you can use this as a stop. But again, this has a big question mark. Is it going to break it or not? Because you're trading into 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock reversal time. Things slow down at 10 o'clock. Don't get me wrong. And if I see a setup that is forming at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be super cautious. Oh, if we have been sideways from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, yeah, you could expect a breakout or breakdown, or you could expect some kind of a strategy to trigger. But in this case, because we already had a massive move, I mean, take a look, 400 points in the Dow, like 400-point move on the day into the Dow. Like this is massive, and it's still compressing into the highs right here into 10 o'clock. This is relentless. Also a 5-minute potential setup over 98. So the trigger here would be 98 or 97 and a half in the M&E S&P. Again, if the trigger is going to be 97 and a half or 98, that's 64.98. The stop is going to have to be below the pivot. And I would say put it 64.90 just below this 20 SMA. Look for a target back into this high. And then the next projection is going to be into the 20s. I do like the Dow. And like I said, I like the Dow over 80. Should we Hail Mary? This is a Hail Mary at this time because we're trading into 10 o'clock. Matt, the strategy would be a Hail Mary because it's like trade, and because of the velocity of the move, it's not scalping. Scalping is tight stop, tight target, bam, bam. Okay. But it would be like a velocity trade higher. It would be a breakout. But see, here's the thing: the breakout is happening at 10 o'clock. I'm having a problem with the 10 o'clock. I just want to be safe, better safer, safe than sorry. You know what I mean? One of the other things is that you can see here that we had a little bit of blip to the upside here, and now we're drying out. It's because of the 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah, no, no. It could still go. It's not yet. It's going to be, yeah. Overbought is 45,500. Overbought is 45,500. So we're still here looking for a continuation higher, but it's the timing that is does not line up. Joshua, it's the timing. No, I'm not going to do it because of the timing. Oh, if Nasdaq, yeah, Matt, if Nasdaq is going to rotate and if S&P is going to sustain that 5 minute buy here, and if it's going to close the candle, let's say 98 or 98 and a half, yeah, you're going to see that 5 minute complete, and that's going to give more power to the Dow. And same here with Russell. So if you're having these majors plus Russell push higher, you're going to have the Dow higher. I'm not a guru. I'm far from a guru. Yes, that's the stop, Michael. That's the stop. If you're still in, just stay in. That's the purpose. Yeah. You see how beautiful trailing is? Once you have a trailing system that will allow you to stay into trades, you're like cool as a cucumber. All you have to do is wait. By the way, NASDAQ doesn't look too healthy here. So, my thoughts on NASDAQ is that if it starts trading below 85 or something, it's going to start pulling back a little bit more, and that may slow down the momentum in the S&P as well. See, it's more of a bear sandwich coming in. And here's the bear sandwich. See, this candle was not sustained and they're pulling back. They need to pull back. It's 10 freaking o'clock. All right, so we have we have quite a few neutrals, neutral stocks like Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom, Google, Meta. They're very, very neutral. Cisco's neutral, but that's going to report. Plus, financials are neutral as well. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citi. We have some activity in credit services. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, PayPal is up as well. Coin had a big push this morning. I really didn't follow Coin, but I don't think it had earnings. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It just popped. LA Lilly, very bullish. Healthcare stocks are bullish. Merck, Pfizer, Moderna that I mentioned earlier. McDonald's higher. Home Depot, Lowe's higher. Disney is higher. Let's move this to the five. You know, your trail stop should be a little bit higher right now, like 940 instead of 910 for everybody that is still in the Dow. Great job, guys. Great job. Fantastic job. See, I picked one that didn't trigger. Perfect, Michael. That's all I have to do. Just push it a little bit higher. Effortless. Effortless trailing. And we teach traders how to trail in our masterclass, 90-day masterclass. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy pullback and ES and very sloppy in NASI. Very sloppy. I like the way Russell is still holding into the highs. It didn't meet the parameters, Matt. It was that simple. We wanted it over this pivot, and this pivot was too much for it. It showed that it got rejected, and then it showed that there was some selling into it. I really don't want to get a lot into this, but it could be a forced sell. This is a lot of times institutions do this when they want to grab more contracts. Okay, guys, I suggest YM trail stop 950. If you're in YM, trail 950, 950, and you're done. 950. Move your stop 950 for sure. Positive. Positive. Now, we're entering another prime time from 11:15 to about, oh, I'm sorry, from 10:15 to about 10:35. Um, we could expect another build up into the market, another setup into the market. But these forced sell strategies are very common with hedge funds, especially when they want to gather more contracts, especially that we had an all-time high and they go like, oh yeah, it has a target of 24,500 or whatever. And they go like, we want to buy more. They're not like us, like, oh, I wish I could buy more. They go like, oh no, I'm gonna buy more. So they have the power to push the market down rapidly. But this is not so rapid. Yeah. And then they take the price back up. And don't forget that things are moving. If you're seeing like these discrepancies, like YM higher, NASDAQ lower, this is very common in an option expiration week. Very, very common. They're already getting pinned and they're trying to get pinned. It's the rush to get into the whole number. So what do you guys see here? It's only Tuesday, but what do you guys see here? Where is NASDAQ trading at? 24,000, right? Whole number. And this is what the pinning is all about. Now, tomorrow I'm going to prep for you a little bit, a little lecture before the market opens again. And I am going to share with you some more facts about option expiration week. So here, 24,000, right? Whole number. This is where the price action is likely to get pinned. Now, where are we in the S&P? 6,500, right? So we're very close to the whole number here as well. We tapped into it. So we were here. We are here. Now look at the Dow. Dow was in a rush to get where? To 45,000, right? And if you're looking at Russell, Russell is not really advancing because it's trading still into the 23,000 and it has very little room to the next targets because we have resistance into the 16 actually. We have resistance into 20 and we have resistance into 30. but the price is closer right now to the pinning point at 2,300. Okay. So if you're going to be here at 9 o'clock, you're going to take part in that lecture about option expiration. Okay. So you're finally out of the Dow. Congratulations for everybody that took the Dow trade. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. You guys rocked. I, like I said, I called trades in YM, S&P, Russell, and NASDAQ, and I go like, yeah, I'm going to trade NASDAQ. Okay. NASDAQ never triggered. Now we have to stock and see if we get some kind of a setup here inside formation on the 1 hour. So it doesn't show. See, we're trading within inside high low here. So no velocity there, at least not for now in ES. And same thing goes for NASDAQ. NASDAQ pulled back, 10 EMA still in power trending mode, 30-minute pulled back a little bit more. So you can see it has a little bit more relative weakness than ES. So it does have relative weakness. And the 15-minute candle here, this may be getting ready for some action. It could be bullish over 20. So it could be a buy setup over 20. The potential stop could be 974. Not going to call it yet because we're getting divergency. So this way, we're going to see if the price is going to start coming one way or the other. It's coming in or it's going to pop up. George, yes, I agree. They suck. Yeah. But we have an upper hand because we know when these things are, pretty much the time frame in which they're happening. They happen more often at around 10 o'clock. They happen 9:45, they happen 10 o'clock, they happen 10:30. So we know the timing and we know how to manage our trades into those times. We got the pullback here, probably into 900. Let's see. I would like a 3 bar here or a 4 bar. NASDAQ doesn't see NASDAQ is pinned right now at 24,000. Uh, yep, hand sitting pretty much. So the next structure in the Dow is going to come from the 15-minute, not from the 5-minute, not from the 2-minute. These are really look at the price action. It looks like it's electrocuted. All right, so the next setup is going to have to be on the 15-minute in NASDAQ. The next setup in the Dow can potentially be on the 5-minute. And don't forget to get your questions ready in about 30 to 40 minutes. And the S&P here, it's not setting up on the 5, potentially on the 15, still holding on to the 10 EMA. Nice inside price action. This one probably is going to set up on the 15. So we have two on the 15, one on the 5, and we have this one on the 5 as well. The fourth one on the 5. So again, resistance here at 16. So this is with question mark. How do I like the level of 0.20 of NASDAQ 15? I do like it. I do like it. It's going to be a 5-minute buy setup here. It's going to have probably around a 45 to 47 point stop at this point. But I do like it. I do like it over 20, and our stop would be probably 975. I don't know why NASDAQ is so off. Yeah, NASDAQ is so off. I mean, you have, a lot of other stocks that are super strong in NASDAQ. To me, something is off, and that off is probably caused by the option expiration. All right, we're just sitting and waiting at this point. Nope, NASDAQ giving up here. So NASDAQ pulling back more. It's not a short per se. See, this was the concerning area, the 980. Once we got this 980, we could potentially pull back here to 900. But with so much strength in the market, and right now we're almost back to break even for the day. It could potentially be, but with the strength that we have so far in the Dow, Russell, and even in S&P, shorting may not, I mean, it may trigger short, but may not give us not even one R. Let's see what this move is all about here. We're not in a rush. We're getting closer to 10:30, which is prime time trigger time, so we have to wait for a setup here. Oftentimes the price action is just um trying to balance into 10:30 for the next setup. You're seeing a bit of a bottoming tail formation here. We still have 2 minutes left. Exactly, George. You got it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Could it be a rotation in the making? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to continue lower, but we want some proof. And don't forget what I said before the market opened, that the market is going to be relatively choppy because of the data tomorrow. All right, more release to the downside here. One, two, three, four. This is the fifth candle down. YM is going to be on watch. So far, no more down move in NASDAQ. At this point, it could potentially change. Just waiting and seeing. No setup, no trade. We're not in a rush to do anything. All right, more release to the downside. I'm not shorting here. I don't know what this is all about. Some profit taking, that's for sure. The 1 hour had a pin in NASDAQ. Just wanted to show you 1 hour pin. It's not a short here because we are still, so as long as the price is trading above the 10 EMA, we're trading in a ultra power trend and the 20 SMA is a power trend. 5 minute is coiled around the 200 SMA so far. Not in a rush to do anything. Alex, we're not rushing into anything. We just want to make sure that when we get in, it's going to be the right move. We don't want to try a trade. We want to profit on a trade. All right, so this bar is going to close in about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. All right, we're just waiting. I'm noticing a little bit of a price compression coming into NASDAQ, and NASDAQ volume has gone down significantly at this point, still into the 950. It's the 20 SMA on the 1 hour area. If the price action is not going to hold this area, so we have relative weakness in NASDAQ. I'm going to be watching this area very carefully because if this area is not going to hold, we may be able to take probably like a very tiny short with a target into 905. So I'm stalking NASDAQ potentially for a little tiny short, potentially. But if we get a turnaround in YM, so here's the problem that I'm seeing here. It's not a problem. It's a nice problem to be because we're not in any trades right now. Okay, so we don't have to force any trades. Okay, so you can see here we have candle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. This is typically the most healthiest type of pullback that there is. Now, if the price now is going to trade above this high, we could call this as a 5 minute buy over this red, stop below here, and we can have a target back into the all-time high. So this would be the target. This would be the entry. This would be the stop. However, we still have a little bit of residual range that we had here at this point. So this is going to become our target one, and this is then going to be our target two. So you can see here that if we get a trade here, first of all, we need to close like on the igniting move. We need to close above this 10 EMA because if we just come into this 10 EMA, chances are, so the trade could look like this. You could get like a full green candle. Okay. So you could get a full green candle here. Okay. But then the price action could get rejected into that 10 EMA and we could have this. Okay. We could have this. And in this case, we would have the stop out. So it's not literally like like a textbook type of trade, but it does look good. So if we get a trade to the upside, I think this is going to be it. If you want to apply just half the risk, it's your choice. And again, within the option expiration week, this is highly advised to do. But I'm going to take full size here. So I'm going to go ahead and say NASDAQ. I'm sorry, NASDAQ. I have an obsession with NASDAQ. I'm going to say down long. And let's see where this 10 EMA lands. 880. See, That's a fulcrum point. So we need to see it over 880. But the prior high is 71. See, the more we stay here within the high and the low of this 5 minute bar, the more this 10 EMA is going to come in. And if it comes in and lands into the 70, we can't potentially get a trigger into 75. I'm just going to call it at 80. Let's just do 880. And we're going to place the stop 800. Okay, just again, because the stop is into the whole number. Okay, because the stop is into the whole number. You can see here that we're giving it a little bit of room. We may tighten it, but so far position size for 800. I'm always giving it like at least a couple of points lower than 800. So I never put my stop just at the whole number exactly. All right. So NASDAQ seems to be slowing down here. Its descent. Like I said, it does have room to go lower into the 900 to 910. And we will have a target. Like I said, the first target is going to be here. Um, let's do 900 to 910 is going to be the first target. And then we're going to go for the high, for the all-time high. Let's do another target at 950, and then we're going to do 980. And if we break that, obviously 45,000. Inside candle, this shows kind of like a weak compression in YM. I like this doji here. I don't like the MAs. We have synchronicity in the MAs from your trading session charts and also from these charts right here, continuous charts. Russell is coiling at 2310. Matt, YM retraced from yesterday's close to today's open. Yeah, could potentially retrace. If it's not going to hold, it could potentially retrace. Yeah. So hear me out with NASDAQ. Here's my theory. Because NASDAQ is the weakest one, and we have an indecision candle here. We have a big flat ceiling into the 70s, just above 70. This could be short here. Okay, so this could be a short under. So the entry would be 40. I'm going to type it in case the market does decide to give it up. So we're going to take the short below the doji low, 940. You guys see it, right? And then we're going to establish the stop, the resistance. I'm not going to use this 200 SMA, but I'm going to use the 980. Let's do 982. All right. And the targets, like I said, 910 to 900. It's not going to be like, could be a little bit more painful, but let's position for these trades. All right. So we have one long, one short. Okay, let's see which one triggers. And if the Dow is going to trigger along, we're going to be canceling NASDAQ short and the other way around. All right. If NASDAQ is going to reverse, then YM is going to start working for us a lot better. We still have, I would say, about 20 minutes left of momentum, and then the momentum is going to die. So if this trade is not going to work out, that's not going to be great. All right. So, okay, here's the thing. We have the trade called at 880. Okay, we have a brand new candle. We're going to be changing the parameters in YM. YM, new parameters. We're going to be entering the trade at 75, so above this red, above the red. Okay, so that is 875. And the stop is again under 800. Okay, same, same targets, same targets. NASDAQ short remains intact. Yeah, oil moved. Well, it's supposed to because we had oil inventory numbers. And by the way, President Trump is going to speak at 11:15. All right. All right. So cancel. Guess what happens? Cancel YM. And we are officially in NASDAQ short. I'm with my full R. Our first target is 910 into NASDAQ. Let's see how it works. It could potentially go to about 994. So that's 894. We'll see. Again, this is a counter trend because the dominant move is happening to the long side. So it's basically a counter trend in Nasdaq. It's an aggressive counter trend. The timing is not great That bottoming tail doesn't look too great in Nasdaq, but patience. Let the trade work out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we have a stop. Quite a reversal in Nasdaq here. YM is weakening, S&P weakening. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. Typically, this candle needs to close weak if the trade needs to work out and test the 30 to 925. 925 would be great because if we get a 925, we're going to get 900. Potential sandwich on the 2-minute. So if we get it under 30, then we get it lower. The Dow should be helping Nasdaq. Nasdaq was one of the weakest right now and now seems to be holding, which is annoying. And get your questions ready because in about 20 minutes, we're going to start answering questions. As I'm in the trade right now, I'm not answering any questions. Obviously, we don't want the price above this 10 EMA, this 20 SMA. Wow, Dow is moving down and Dow is one of the strongest. And we're getting some buying pressure here in Nasdaq. Like I said, setups don't work as well. So if you missed the most important part of the day, which is the prep, where we talked about the significance of the PPI, CPI data and PPI data, PPI data tomorrow. So that's one of the, that's another reason why the market is acting the way it is. I think they already kind of pinned NASDAQ at 24,000 already. We're already seeing the false breakouts, breakdowns in price action, and we're already seeing this erratic, the bullish becomes bearish and the bearish becomes bullish. The stop remains the same in NASDAQ, 982. Quite an impressive base here. Ideally, we want the price action to get rejected from this 200 SMA and the 10 EMA here. We blipped. So this is very common for option expiration. That's why before entering the trade, I said that you may consider half the size. I've allocated like the full size here, but typically if you if you can choose based on your personal risk tolerance to take half the size. And again, we are not going to micromanage the trade. We have a firm stop. We have allocated 1R, and we're just going to see if the trade plays out or it doesn't play out. We're not going to intervene. Smaller time frames are just holding that low just below the 940. And I have to say the 15-minute may be getting ready for a reversal move. Remember, this is still a massive power trend. We have an all-time high here. The 4 hour has reversed into the below the 980, pulled in a little bit. This is support here as well into the 920, and we have the 10 EMA around the 900 level. Phil, the reverse is going to be up, obviously. The reverse is going to be up because this is the move and this would be the reverse. Matt, half the size. So if your R, let's say it's $1,000 risk on a trade, your half R is half. So you're risking less. All right. So I think that we can get ready right now to answer some questions. And if we see the trade develop in our favor, we're going to focus on the trade. Matt, the stop is going to be the same. It's not half the stop. It's half the risk. It's totally different ball game. Do I close the trade at a time stop? No. No. The trade has a firm stop above this area and it has a target. So the trade is well defined. I'm not going to intervene and do anything. I'm going to let it trade. I'm not feeling very comfortable with the reversal that is happening right now in YM because YM is just reversing and I was just looking at the 15-minute. This is ready to trigger. So we're going to do YM long, guys. YM long. The parameters are 850 by 770. Targets by trailing into the high today, but targets also include some pretty substantial levels at 900 and 950. Okay, so we have all right. Order filled in YM long. So we are officially in a trade long and in a trade short. Now that YM is stronger, why Nasdaq could go back to being weaker. Okay. All right. So we are going to postpone the questions because we're in trades. Matt, depending on your size. If you cannot accommodate one contract, then you're going to do 5 micros, obviously. But now I feel more comfortable because we are in the massive, we're such in a massive junk market right now with YM strengthening and NASDAQ weakening. That is hilarious. Okay, so I'm gonna monitor YM very closely here. Okay, this is not a comfortable trade with YM and NASDAQ here doing the opposite. Okay, hear me out. If the price action is going to start trading back into the 70s, we're going to bring the stop to break even in YM. Bonnie, great job. Awesome. What the heck? And by the way, if you're thinking this is a crazy market, it is. But guess what? We're expecting this. We have strategies that work for this. We're flexible to take longs and shorts. Okay, new low in NASDAQ. We have a first target into the 910. Matt, it may sound bizarre, but on option expiration week, this is what you would expect. So you have to have a trading plan that is designed for strategies like this and days like this. And then you don't have any guesses. There's no guess work. All right, I like the fact that the 2 minute is kind of like coiling around the 850. I just want a little bit more weakness, and I want NASDAQ below 20. If NASDAQ gets below 920, we're going to be reducing the stop probably to around break even. Thanks, Matt. I've been doing it for way too long. You have to have strategies for the first half of earnings season. For the second half of earnings season, you have to have strategies and a trading plan ready to deploy around holidays. You have to have a different plan to trade around option expiration. So there are different plans that, like there are different strategies that you apply in different market environments. Not one strategy fits all. We have almost a new low. Here we go, a new low in NASDAQ. They're typically in sync. Whenever we have a divergent market, because this is a divergent market, we typically have the Dow pairing with Russell, and we have the S&P pairing with NASDAQ. All right, so GE Appliances to shift production back to the US from China. This is actually good news because maybe this time they're going to be better. Bought a house in Florida, and they the builder had a contract with GE, and we couldn't bring our own appliances until after we bought the house. And I could tell you, like, the GE they're top of the line. Like, I ordered the best of the best, and they're terrible. They're terrible. And they gave me like a washer and a dryer. That was the first thing to go out, and we bought our own. The older versions are fantastic. The newer versions are horrible. Yeah. All right, we're at 20 right now. No, the stop in NASDAQ is still, we're not going to change anything. Okay, hear me out. If YM is going to have a spike to break even, take it. Okay, take it out. If YM is going to go back to break even at 50, take it off. Okay, one spike and YM at break even. So cut YM at break even. Once you see it at 850, take it. Have an order at 850 to close the trade. All we need is a little spike, and we're gonna be done with with YM. Done. YM out at break even. YM out at break even. Jeez, it's the worst. I didn't have a choice, so I had to buy them. But at least I'm like, you know what? Like, at least I'm gonna get like the best of the best. The best of the best were the worst. My oven is like, I didn't even use it. I used it probably to heat up pizza. And then we left the house. We went back after a couple of months. The oven wasn't working. The oven wasn't working. Like both of them, because they're in sync. The upper, the lower, garbage. Okay, NASDAQ put this stop at break even. Unbelievable, Dow. Unbelievable. Ah, unbelievable Dow. Anyways, so a brand new oven. Um, it was out of warranty. So, okay, so I think it was like a year later. Okay, so we bought the house. We did a brand new house, complete renovation. Like we tore out the bathrooms, the flooring, the fixtures, everything. Everything was a gut job in the bathrooms. But anyways, back to the oven story. So, I don't even remember how much it cost us, but I think it was something like around $1,000 to replace some kind of a small thing in it. Like a very small thing because I didn't want to get warranty on it. Okay, guys, we're gonna see the 900. We punched into the 910, so if you have a take profit at 910, you could be all out or partial profit at 910. If you thought that yesterday was a messed up day, look at today. Lower the stop to 920 in NASDAQ. NASDAQ trail 920. We're getting close to support here. We're back into the 910 if you haven't taken partial profits. It's very hard to juggle two trades, one long, one short, but I was expecting this type of price action. And we talked about it before the market opened. Thanks, Douglas. I'm bummed because I didn't take the Dow, but I'm happy that there are traders in this room that took the Dow. The low is 903. Woo! This is nice. 900, guys. Let's see if we get that 90. And if we get the 90, Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be reducing the stop. Just give me 1 second because we need to see the price action here. Trail 904. Trail 904. Hey, Skip, thank you. It's not me, it's the market. It's the market. 904, guys. 904. Don't let it go above 904. 904 is our exit. And we're out. And we are out. We're done. Unbelievable Dow, guys. What do you guys think? Crazy pants. Good job, Michael. Green is good. Whatever green it is. Whatever green it is, it's good. All right. Get your questions ready.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are thumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. Because that's where the party's at, and you find out it's that. Pump up the jam, pump it up while your
All right, perfect. I'm going to start answering some questions. We have the first questions in here. All right. Uh, Casey, another profitable day. Of course it is. You're in the trade out loud room, right? Okay. I don't trade VWAPs. All right. So, ATM, I should change my name to ATM. Okay. So, um, all right. I have a question here from I'm not sure I can pronounce your name, but I'm gonna answer your question. Yes, we do. And in fact, I can answer your question tomorrow a lot better, where I could go a little bit more and describe. But yes, we do have a course that is designed to take you from student to pro trader. And that's in 90 days. So that's a real fast track. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow if that's okay with you. But yes, we do have a course that is designed to teach you how to trade the way I trade. And the way I trade is basically old school institutional trading. And it works really well. It has been working for me for so many years, and it's just getting better and better. It's just like fine wine. All right. The next question that I had a little bit earlier, so I scrolled up a little bit to see what you guys were, what your questions were at the beginning. What is the difference between time frames? So time frames tell you a different story. higher time frames are the analytical time frames and the dominance. They establish the dominance. And the smaller time frames are considered the 1 minute all the way to the 15 minute, and they are considered executional time frames. So when you're looking for a trade, first of all, you have to analyze the macro aspect, the higher time frame. And the higher time frame is going to give you the directional bias. It's going to give you more relevant support and resistance areas. It's going to give you the target, so it's going to refine the trade for you. So when you take a trade, you are going to take it with confidence, knowing that yes, it's going to move higher or it's going to move lower. Now, like I've mentioned at the beginning of the session, during the option expiration week, the price action is not true to value and it's not true to technical. So you're going to see a lot of failed breakouts or failed strategies. You may have like that picture perfect trade and it's going to fail for you. So you have to be so super careful and so attentive when you're trading, especially this week. And you're not going to hit the pedal to the metal this week. You're going to hit the pedal to the metal maybe next week, but not this week. All right. So as you can see, the markets are divergent, especially into the option expiration week. And this is very normal. This is a very normal aspect. And we talked about the specifics in today and what the impact of the CPI numbers, the PPI numbers have on price action. And tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about the option expiration. But I felt that it was very important to get you ready for tomorrow. So this is the reason why before the market opened, we had a little lesson about the PPI numbers that are about to come out tomorrow at 8:30. So yes, we're getting extreme divergency in the market in the sense that you're having relative weakness intraday, not throughout, in the Dow, and you're getting relative strength. I'm sorry, in NASDAQ, relative weakness in NASDAQ, and you're getting the relative strength into the Dow. For example, just to pick these two. All right. Josie Foster, how do you identify a pullback versus a reversal? A pullback is a move that is coming within a trend. So for example, you have a swing low to a swing high, and this is a pullback, right? So you're getting the price that is pulling back within the trend. And a reversal is the rotation that is happening and the price action picking up speed to continue the trend. So I hope that answered your question. Why was the consolidation to the left of NASDAQ from yesterday at 12:30 neglectable? I mean, not strong support. Oscar, what time frame? Give me the time frame that you're looking at so I know what to look at. 5 minutes. This is the base that you're referring to? I just want to make sure you're a little bit more specific so I can answer the longer one under the entry. This one right here, the one that we took, the short that we took, Oscar. Okay, this one. Okay, so just want to make sure, just confirm once again, just type a one, yes or yes. This one right here. So the short that we took. Okay, let me zoom in. I just want to make sure that I answered the right question. This right here was not an A-list short setup because I explained it earlier. It was, so the pullback occurred when the price action hit 980. And as you can see here, it's not an A-list. It is a counter trend because the price action was going to pull back to the 10 EMA. I mentioned this several times in the room. This is not your, I mean, I'm actually surprised that I took this short because I typically don't take these types of shorts, but we had relative weakness in NASDAQ, and I was wanting to write it into the 90. And like I said, it could potentially go into like a 95. If you listen to the recording, when I'm going to send it out, you're going to see exactly the way I traded this, and I did select that 95 for the target, the location where the 10 EMA is at. 10 EMA is in an ultra power trend right here, and you're also always 100% of the time you're going to get a reaction off of this, especially that it's on a higher time frame than an analytical time frame. So you're always going to get the bounce. So this is the reason why I trailed very, very, very tight into this area, because it was a counter trend trade. It was, and like I said, it's not an A list. Was basically below this base, the entry. The stop was above the base, and we had a very little continuation to the downside. But I was willing to risk my full R into this. All right, typically setups don't work, like I said, as we're heading into the option expiration week, option expiration day. All right, the next question, Robin. Oh, awesome. Yes. No, does not scare me one bit, because once you have a defined position size, there's nothing to be scared of. People that are, and in general, Robin, it's not your case, but traders that are scared of trading, not only that they don't know how to trade, and you're trading with the most brilliant algorithms in the world. So you either trade the same strategies the algorithms and the institutions trade, or if you want to reinvent the wheel, you're actually donating your hard-earned money. And once you establish that, okay, you have a system, now you have to put it in practice. And when you put it in practice, you have to make sure that, number one, you position size and you learn how to manage the trade. You can see here that I always have a plan. I don't go on asking anybody who's like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I trail? Do I ask what? Do I ask ChatGPT how to trail? No, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So yeah, nobody can tell you, but the chart is going to tell you how you trail. But the position size, I have to emphasize, is the most important thing. So if there's one takeaway from this room, besides money that you're taking home on the second day, is the fact that you need to position size, and you need to understand that you're not going to grow as a trader. You're not going to generate income. You're not going to be able to double your account or triple or quadruple your account until you position size. And once you understand, the faster you understand this, the faster you are going um, to make it. And quit your job, quit the 9 to 5, and just trade the power hour. All right. Yes, tomorrow is the last day. Yes, tomorrow's the last day of the open house. We only do this once a year. We open our doors to our strategy once a year, so we show traders how I trade. Yeah, and again, yes, it's a great opportunity. No, we're not. We're going to be trading the effects, Alex, after the open. Um, there are some strategies that are based on VWAPs. There are some algos that have strategies that are based on VWAPs, but they're very, very few. That's the reason, one of the reasons why you're going to see that a lot of times this strategy does not work as well. It's not getting a lot of participation. Yes, James, the um, recordings are going to go out. No, the recording is just going to go out for these 3 days. We are live here every single day. We do not record the live sessions. We do have a track of all the trades that are posted in the room and all the conversations that go on the room, but we don't record it. You can imagine, like, by now, I have been doing this for 10 years, like what kind of server I need to pay to host everything. No, the format is going to be the same, Michael. Like, I come on the mic around 9:15 to 9:20, so I don't do the rules and regulations of the trading room because you're going to get them in the welcome email. I come on the mic around 9:15 to 9:20, and I start with the pre-market game plan. Everybody knows what they need to do, so I don't need to remind everybody. But we have over 1,000 people that have registered for the open house, and I had to bring the rules and regulations for the trading room before the market opens. We can talk about this tomorrow, but you can sign up. You can sign up on our website if you want to join the trading room. We have, let me put here the list of the link. Sorry, not the list. Okay, so here it is. If you want to join the trading room, is right there. I would say that, and that's a great question. Here's the question. Let's suppose that we have a sell, like we had a NASDAQ today, and we're trading, let's say, below the 10 EMA. So we had the breakout that we had, but let's say we just hit support and reverse on the 5 minute. Is it a great idea to buy the, and I would add here, is a great idea to buy, let's say, the first buy setup that is occurring, or to buy it above the 10 EMA. The 10 EMA strategy applies. There's a lot to say here about the 10 EMA. I'm not going to get deep into it, but the reversal would be here. So at the reversal candle, so this would be a 5 minute buy setup. So it would be actually below the 10 EMA. The 10 EMA is actually the squeeze of price going into the 10 EMA, and here it could potentially do the reversal. You don't do that on a relatively weak index. You can find another index in which you can buy that reversal. But don't do it on the weakest, because the weakest is just going to pop up. It's not going to pop up as hard. No, the monthly can start anytime. So it could start tomorrow or Friday or Monday. It doesn't matter. The monthly membership starts when you decide to sign up. So it's going to start on the date. So if you sign up, let's say on the 14th, then, or today on the 13th, you're going to have access until September 13th. If you cancel, you cancel. But if you continue, it's ongoing. You're just going to get billed, let's say, on the 13th of each month. When you sign up, I'm going to go more into this tomorrow. When you sign up, for example, for the monthly, you're going to get access to the performance portfolio, to the risk calculator. You're going to get the link for the platform that I'm using. I usually don't share this in an open house. I did share it yesterday, but I don't. I don't share it. I just share it with a group of people that actually, I get a chance to explain why the chart setting is the way it is. So, yeah. All right, guys, this is it for today. Awesome. This was another amazing day today. Thanks so much for being here and for signing up for the open house and giving me the opportunity to share some of the information that I have from the market. I have been doing this for a very long time. So I'm really happy that I had a chance to show you guys how easy it is, effortless to make money into the market. All right. So thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you back in here tomorrow.
Let's go. It's 9:30 and the bell just rang. Market's alive, hear that money clang. Don't stress out, don't fear the heat. Anka's in the room, steady on her seat. She sees the chart like a crystal ball. Futures lighting up, she's on the call. Setup's clean, risk is tight. Power hour, let's trade it right. No more guessing, no more doubt. This is what trading's all about. It's lighting up the screen with trade so clean, it's a money machine. In the power hour, she leads the charge. Helping traders think big and go large. Oh, futures flying, profits boom. She's the boss in that trading room. Call it magic, go your skill. With Anka in your corner, you're paying that bill. Breakouts, pullbacks, trades in play. Momentum rising, we're seizing the day. NASDAQ, oil, the gold parade. Anka's got moves that never fade. She's coached the vets, trained the rook. This ain't luck, it's a strategy book. One chart glance and boom, we fly. Power income sky high. She's got your back in the wildest ride. Precision, strength, and trader pride. Tick by tick, she's locked and tight. Helping you in day or night. Oh, and just trade with vision and fire. Elevating every trader higher. It's the power hour, time to strike. Profit flows like a motorbike. Oh, take the queen of the futures game, helping you grow wealth, not chase fame. From tick to tick, she's making it rain. Anka in the room and profit train. Yeah, profit train, let's go. This is what trading's all about. This is what trading right. This is what trading, no more doubt. 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 Oh, anchors lighting up the screen with trade so clean, it's a money machine. In the power hour, she leads the charge, helping traders think big and go large. Oh, futures flying, profits boom. She's the boss in the trading room. Call it magic or pure skill. With Anka in your corner, you're paying that bill. Break out for the trends and play. We're ready to rise. We're seizing the day. NASDAQ, oil, the gold parade. Anka's got moves that never fade. Helping traders think never fade. Go large. Go large, oh, futures flying, profits boom. She's the boss in the trading room. Calling magical pure skill. With Alka in your corner, you're paying that bill. Breakouts, pullbacks, trades in play. Momentum rising, we're seizing the day. NASDAQ, oil, the gold parade. Alka's got moves that never fade. She's coached the vets, trained the rook. This ain't luck, it's a strategy book. One chart glance and boom, we fly. Power income sky high. She's got your back in the wildest ride. Precision, strength, and trader pride. Tick by tick, she's locked and tight. Helping you in day or night. Oh, she's the queen of the futures game. Helping you grow well, not chase fame. From tick to tick, she's making it rain. Anka in the room and profit train. Yeah, profit train, let's go.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye.